The other thing is, I'd like to make a proposal to change the agenda a little bit. I would like to first put presentations before and move to fourth and public from the comment to fifth.
Okay, thank you for that recommendation. I kind of like the idea. We've got some presenters here today that we'd like to have up front ahead of public comment. So that's what we're going to do. And I would like to ask State Land Commissioner to come up and present.
Do we have to vote on that agenda change?
Do we need to vote on amending or adjusting the agenda?
Yeah, you'll need a motion and a
Okay, do I have a motion to
So moved.
second?
Second.
Madam Clerk, we have a motion and a second to change the agenda. We're going to move presentations up in front of public comment. Go ahead and take a roll call.
Vice Chair Kyle,
Yes.
Commissioner Echo,
Yes.
Commissioner Dominguez,
Yes.
Commissioner Bowe,
Aye.
Chair Chapman.
Chair votes yes. So we'll go to presentations, and first up is State Land Commissioner Audrey Dunn. Thank you, sir, for coming. And also, he has with him Lieutenant Governor Jerome Lucero from Zia Pueblo. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to come before this honored body. This is my first visit since Land Commissioner to be here, and I'm honored, and it's great to be in a place like Sandoval County and see the things that are going on. The reason we came today, and let's see if I can work this deal. I'm probably not the best one to do it, Kristen. Okay, you have me. I'm on the National Guard now. Start slideshow. There we go. And just turn this.
Yeah, each time you're going to go, you just
Click it down. Okay. Thank you very much. Why we're here today is about a year ago, the Zia Pueblo came to the land office wanting to help on cleaning up debris that happens on our lands at the end of Rainbow Road. And you know, they asked if we would clean it up, and so we'll look at it, and we sat down and visit. So if you know the area, when you look at it, the problem is that we have a large amount of dumping. And I think there were 2 cars last month. They're set on fire, and it's a real issue. And so what we're trying to do is figure out how to handle this. Zia Pueblo agreed to clean the area, but we didn't see any reason to clean it unless we could somehow stop the illegal dumping from happening. So we sat down and visited in December, and they came to us, and we said, you know, what we'd like to do is maybe figure out a way to get a fence across there. And so we sat down and we said, well, listen, if we'll pay for the fencing material, could you put the fence up? And so that's what we've come to do is we're going to go ahead and build a fence. And if you've got a copy, this is more about fencing off the area. They've also agreed to clean it up after we get the fence up and then turn around and do law enforcement. Does everybody have a copy of the presentation? Okay. And so so there's really 2 things that we came tonight, and you know, the solution we think is to build the fence. This shows some more of the cars that are dumped. We're talking about a 4-strand fence, and then we'll have gates and signage showing it's state trust lands and no trespassing. And this just shows you it's a large shooting area. A lot goes on out there, and you know, there's approximately about 3,000 acres of state trust lands that will be inside the fence on the escarpment. That's some more of the trash shown. And then, so this really is the map that shows the fence. It's approximately 6 miles, and it's right there on the edge of the escarpment. And I think the real reason, I think everybody agrees with cleaning the dump up and fencing it so that we don't have illegal dumping. And so the reason we're here is we think there's probably going to be some complaints because there's a lot of recreation that goes out there. I don't know that it's legal, but because you really need a permit to be on state trust lands. But we think that when we put the fence up, there's going to be some issues. And we wanted to just let you know what we're up to, because you're probably going to hear about it as commissioners. So really the two things we really wanted to bring up was that we're building a fence. You're probably going to hear about it. But then we'd also like to be able to have the Zio Pueblo law enforcement have law enforcement ability. If you'd like to add.
Yes, I'd like to bring it back up. I go back 1 year. I was the governor last year for the Pueblo of Zia, and this was brought to my attention back in February, and I got a call from KOB4, and they were asking what was going on back there in that area. So I started doing research, and I thought that it belonged to the Pueblo. So I was taking BIA up there, and they were investigating and stuff, and we went down and got all the VIN numbers off the vehicle. Right now I think there's about 8 vehicles down there as right now as we speak. The last one that caught on fire was about a month ago, and there's a couple people that live back there that do watch the area, and they were actually telling us that there's some people that go back there and joyride. And once they steal the vehicles, there's like a little hill there, and they just go in a circle and just start laughing. And when they're done laughing, then they just dump them off the edge of the cliff. So I've been trying to stake it out. I go out there about 10 o'clock at night. I've been drove off of Rainbow, and it goes all the way, I think, to Southern without no stoplights. There's no stoplights there, and I think that's the way they're coming up. It's from Southern Boulevard and then up into Rainbow and then headed straight out, and they're dumping all that out there. And I've went on our boundary, and that's not the only place that's the problem with trash. It's that whole area, that whole section of 6 miles. It's all nothing but trash. If you go back there, you'll see all that trash back there, and that's, I mean, shameful to see people dumping trash back there when you guys have a landfill. And it's costing us a lot of money where we could even put money to the education or at least do something for the youth. Or, it's sad to see that people are dumping all this stuff on state land. But why we're here is we're trying to get cross commission for law enforcement so we can start enforcing violators, so then that way when we catch them, we'll send them through magistrate, because I know I work closely with Sandoval County, and I also work closely with state police, and I did take them back there, but law enforcement clear across the board is shorthanded. And I'm also a law enforcement myself. I graduated FLETC in October 2015 from the Artesia, the Federal Law Enforcement Academy down in Artesia. So that's why I'm kind of trying to push to see if we can get cross commission with the county, so then that way we can start citing these violators that are back there for trash pass and legally dumping, and send them in through magistrate. That's why I'm here too also.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Is there any more to the presentation, or are you
It's
ready
a
to
pretty
take
quick presentation. We'd like to take questions.
questions? Okay. Commissioners, any questions for State Land Commissioner Rob? Are you done? Or Lieutenant Governor Lucero? Go ahead, Commissioner Rob.
So I'm looking at the map here, and it shows, this fence line that runs across some properties marked on this. Is this the current ownership of this property, or how does this work? I mean, that we're running this fence line across what looks like other people's property?
Commissioner Rob, no, the blue area is state trust lands. So when you look at this map, the blue is all state trust, and those are the grazing lessees and things that are on that. So the fence will be on state trust lands. It won't be on any private land.
And with I like this idea that it's more parts of our let the fence off to prevent dumpers. Will this just end up pushing the dump somewhere else? I mean, if the sign of the fence is just a short distance, it'll infill.
Well, if you'd like to, Commissioner Howell, if you want to sign it, we'd be happy for you to do that. But I think we need to start somewhere, and this is our idea where to start.
Commissioner Dominguez.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I think the only question I have, so the access roads that are to these dump sites where I can see, are these going to be blocked off? Are they going to stay open, or how's that going to be controlled? Do you have an idea?
They're gonna be blocked off, they'll be fenced and blocked. The only access through there is Rainbow. There's no other access through, there's no main roads going in except from the gun club. That's the only other main road back on the west end of the boundary on section 34. But Rainbow's the only main road that goes in. And we might start having problems with Rio Rancho also. Because Rio Rancho PD was back there about 4 months ago looking for a unit that someone stole. So they were back there too, so I started helping them look for their unit. But we never came up with it. And that's kind of what I've been having problems back there, because I've been on that boundary for like a year and a half now.
And I think this is Rainbow, Commissioner Hano, that's your area. And so that you know, I know that we have been working on the exclusive cash collection and trying to prevent illegal dumping. So I know that we're working on that, and I don't know exactly how far it is with Commissioner Hano and what he's doing. But I know that we're working that with our Public Works Director and getting that approved here soon. Hopefully we can be a service to be able to control some of that in that area, especially in Commissioner Hiles' district. So I guess we'll see what happens here in the next couple of weeks. I understand that we're coming close to an agreement, so I think once that happens, that will provide some service to you, especially on the Rio Rancho side.
Thank you, Commissioner Weeks. I think the one thing that would be, at this time, there's no legal access across this land as far as road easements.
Commissioner Aqua.
Mr. Chairman, Lieutenant Governor, sir, is there any issue on the Sandoval County citing the individuals into magistrate court that would be on tribal land?
No, this is all state land, so I don't think
So there wouldn't be a problem there? And what about tribal members? If there's anybody that's there, would they be cited into a tribal court?
Probably the tribal, it just depends on the way that MOU is written and where we go into an agreement with. It just depends.
I just want to make sure that if they get cited, there's some teeth there. Okay, not, you know the political game of playing jurisdiction. So, I just want to find that out. Okay.
Yeah, we're kind of having problems with jurisdiction issues, so I'm trying to work with the patrol officers out there when they do come into mobile lands and us going into county area and state. So we're kind of trying to adjust it, but it's like you said, it's political. So that's where we're kind of having that political adjustment with jurisdiction issues.
I know that some of the tribal officers at one point or another were cross jurisdiction into the county. Is that still occurring or not?
No, not at this time.
Not at this time. Okay.
All right, Commissioner Aqua, thank you. Any other questions from the commission? Commissioner Bott.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Lieutenant Governor, Mr. Land Commissioner, thank you for being here. Can you tell me what the ROM is for the fence? Have you guys taken a look at that? A rough order of magnitude, price? Did I miss that in the presentation? Was there a potential price how much it would cost?
Well, the fence, Commissioner Block, we've already purchased the materials, and they are at the.
Okay, I'm sorry, I missed that. All right.
They are at the Pueblo, and so it's all set to go, and the materials are there.
They've agreed to furnish the labor, so it's there's no cost to anyone.
So I assume that, well, I don't assume, I know, illegal dumping is an issue, a systemic issue across our state. Are you guys looking at doing the same solution to other areas where we see a lot of illegal dumping?
Commissioner Block, go ahead.
Commissioner Block, yes, we have issues down on, Cabazon Road, and we've been cleaning that up off of, BLM and state also. Of, on the, off of 550 Cabazon Road by the White Mesa area. We've been cleaning that area up because they've been shooting over there and they don't clean up their,
Right.
brass and, picking up their shells there also. So that's what we're cleaning up too, and it's costing the tribe a lot of money to clean that up. And we've been sitting on the table with BLM, Game and Fish, and we're trying to establish a shooting range. But I asked them, are we gonna be charging? And they told us no. It's gonna be free, but we need to come up with a piece of land of where we're gonna put this shooting range, because it's becoming a problem that people are shooting up on top of this area also, and then also down in BLM, and people take TVs out there, they take water heaters out there, that's what they shoot up back in the back country, and this is all BLM and state. And Sandoval goes through Cabazon, and then they patrol in the back towards Pipeline Road also, and it's just being a big old issue. And I ask you guys, go back there and go look, because it's a problem. And I asked why we shouldn't charge. They told me that Albuquerque, the gun range in the back, they charge $6 a day. People don't want to pay $6. They want to go out in the back country and shoot for free, and then leave their trash. So that's the problem that we're having, and we've been sitting at the table with BLM and Game and Fish to come up with a solution.
So have you implemented this solution or other solutions in regards to illegal dumping, where you cleaned an area out, you put some type of barrier or fence up, and what's been the progress on that? Or do people just, like one of the commissioners said, go somewhere else and find another place to dump or shoot?
We're trying to put fences up, but it's open for cattle grazing, and we don't want to. We have leases with state and BLM, and we don't want to fence these places off. Then it makes the area smaller. And we did put signs up saying that you are on trespass on the Pueblo Adzia, but what happened? Our signs got stolen. They get stolen and they get shot up. And I'm out there trying to educate the people, telling them you're on tribal land, and or if not, you're on public land. I do go out there and I give them pamphlets, and I do tell them, but we don't want to fence these areas up, because then it just makes the area smaller for grazing, and we do have leases out there for grazing, and that's why we don't want to fence them up.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Commissioner Block. So I had a couple of questions in regards to what cooperation you're looking for from Sandoval County. I know we discussed it briefly before the meeting started, that, and unfortunately, we have nobody here today from the Sheriff's Department. However, this meeting, your testimony is all on record via videotape, so we'll be able to share it with the Sheriff's Department. We'll go ahead and tell you that we're going to be as helpful as we can with this problem. We're aware of this problem, not just in your area, but I don't want to say it's countywide, but there are other areas in the county where we're having a similar problem, and we're trying to figure out the best way to deal with it. But were you, sir, considering executing an MOU with Sandoval County in terms of enforcement and getting help that way, or were you just going to ask us verbally for our help? I wanted to know what mechanism you
We'll
were.
probably end up coming up with the MOU, but we're in the process of coming up with the MOU agreement with the state also.
Okay.
We're trying to take over the state lease also, but we're still in question with that also, with the top with the King Brothers.
Okay. So we value Zia Pueblo and the fact that it is a sovereign nation within Sandoval County. We want to be as good a neighbor as we can possibly be and help out the state land office with this issue. So we're going to go ahead and go on the record as saying that we're going to help be helpful and cooperate and probably execute an MOU with Zia Pueblo to help with this problem. I don't know if the county manager wants to add to that, but
I will go ahead and reach out to the sheriff's office to make sure that they're aware. I understand that there was some information that was forwarded to them, so I'll just follow up and make sure that there was some contact with them so that we can follow through.
Yeah, thank you, County Manager Mace. So, you know, it probably would have been appropriate for us to have someone here tonight from the sheriff's office, but nevertheless, you have our commitment, sir, that we will work with you and the state land office to help with the enforcement on this. I have a question though in regards to trespassing. You're saying that there is, frankly, nobody is really allowed to come out here on this land and do this sort of thing. What teeth is in whatever regulation or ordinance or whatever you have in regards to trespassing?
On the Pueblo, or
Yeah,
is that what you're talking about?
Sure.
Right now, that's what we're working on, an ordinance of criminal trespass and trespass and restricted
Okay.
trespass. So,
okay.
and we're trying to come up with the ordinance and stuff, and then
Mhm.
hopefully, after that, we'll come up with it. But we're also following the state statutes
Mhm.
for non-natives,
Mhm.
so that's what we're going to be following.
Okay, okay. And then I would think that maybe part of that enforcement might be some sort of penalty or fine if you are caught removing any of these signs that says that you are trespassing if you're on this land, and if you're dumping on this land. So, like I say, we're aware of this problem elsewhere in the county. We're trying to figure out the best way to deal with it. And I think that having a little bit of teeth in whatever ordinance that you pass is going to be appropriate, based on the pictures that I saw. So it's obviously a heck of a problem. I know you're going to have to do a little bit of work to get this all cleaned up and get a fence erected and so on and so forth. So we hope it works out. You're welcome, Lieutenant Governor, to come back.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
And give us an update on how things are going once you get the fence done. And then we have an ongoing dialogue with the state land office in regards to a lot of different things that Sandoval County is considering. I want to thank both of you gentlemen for coming tonight.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks for
You
allowing
bet.
us to speak here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay, moving right along.